Come here, Luna, 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 Luna. No, she's following you. Come on, guys. Hey. Come on, Luna. Come on, girls. Come on. Come on, puppies. Puppies. Come on. Come on. Good girls. Good girls. Well done. Hello.
Standing like this or lying down? Hello, what have you got there? Where's the other one? Where are you going to? Hello. This is Una. Okay, and this is Ned. And this is Mickey.
This is Simon.
And this is Simon, the daddy. Beautiful pups. The pups and the pops.
Going back to lunch. You keep on coming and going, you. Hey, you keep on going and coming and going. Settle down. Did you not like your puppies in the bucket? You didn't like me to carry them in the bucket. Oh. There's an awful lot of content on the YouTube talking on experiences, what people are getting into here in the Philippines. Quite a few hard luck stories, people that have made poor decisions with people and money, and learnt certainly from it, but lost money in the process and put them into frustrating frames of mind. People have also come here with the wrong expectations. I think they came here with expectations of just a stress-free life with stress-free things to do, no worry about anything, just beaches and blue turquoise sea and nothing to worry about at all, no problems at all, which is a real unrealistic way of thinking, really. But this is how people, I think, have come in and embraced the Philippines. They've also come in with a Western mindset of saying, okay, well, I've got to buy a house, it's better than renting one. Therefore, which is totally wrong. If you haven't got any strength in a relationship here with someone who you can trust, it was pretty crazy to buy something with someone who you've only known a very short period of time. This has all been covered. I've covered it. Many have covered it many, many times already. So I don't want to go into that. But what I want to try and help people do is get that state of mind right for coming to the Philippines. You've got to come here, you've got to enjoy it, of course you have. You've got to slow your way of life down considerably from if you're living in a Western country, a Western environment like the UK or USA. And you've got to come here and really, really learn to slow down. And I've also had these videos as well. It's not easy to do. when you're only been used to living in sort of one environment, one country most of your life, to come into a place like the Philippines and learn to slow down takes some adjustment. You take time to do that. I mean, I've worked and lived in different parts of the world from my mid-20s, and Africa, Eastern Europe, the Middle East, the Far East, before coming here to retire. And everywhere is different. Everywhere's laws are different. Everywhere's rules are different. Everywhere's culture is different. And it's the same here. The difference here is you have all the time in the world to enjoy it. You're not worrying about deadlines anymore. You're not worrying about, or you shouldn't be worrying about deadlines anymore. And I can share that experience here with building our house. I don't worry if it takes me another 3 months to build, if it takes me another 6 months to build, if it takes me another 12 months. Don't care. It's life. It doesn't worry me. I'm happy to go with the flow. It's easy. It's an easy thing to do. So it doesn't bother me. And that applies to anything now in life. That's how I take it on board, because that's the culture here. That's how people tend to think here. And you've got to get into that practice yourself. If you're going to settle here and enjoy it here, you've got to also go, in my opinion, under the radar. You shouldn't become too obvious to people as a foreigner. Of course, you stand out as a foreigner when you're in public places. But if you're living in your local community, people get used to you, and you get used to them, and eventually you become, although you're still a foreigner, you become part of the community in that little area. They get more and more comfortable talking with you, and you get used to them as well. It's obvious. It's easy to do that, but you have to be able to adjust first when you're coming here for the first time. The point about, people will say, well, you're lucky, Simon, you've known Richie a long time, and it's made that transition into the Philippines way of life for you much easier. Yeah, absolutely. I have. And I've been here many times with Richie, as we've been to other parts of the world as well. So it's easy. And like I said before, I hand her all the cash. She has everything. She deals with all the financial issues that are here. They aren't issues like you have in the UK or anything like that, but so paying utility bills, paying grocery bills, paying the internet, paying anything else that needs to be paid is her baby. She does it. She looks after it. She manages it. She knows what I like. She knows what I want, which isn't a lot, I've got to be honest, but she knows, and therefore it's very easy for her. She has full, ultimate control in that. So I don't have to worry about, am I going to get scammed by this guy when I go and buy something at the market, or get into this tricycle, or whatever, because she pays. Rarely do I go anywhere without her being with me, usually. If I say I'm going to go into town, she wants to come with, even if she hadn't planned it. And obviously she tells me, let's go to Cabanatuan, or let's go here, or let's go there. That happens, obviously, all the time. So if you're coming here without that long-term relationship that's real, I don't mean a long-term relationship online, I mean a long-term relationship where you've been living with someone already for 20 years or so, it's going to be easy for you to make this transition. If you're coming here and meeting the person for the first time, in the flesh, you've obviously spoken to them online. Yeah, it's a different type of relationship. You're not going to hand over the cash and be in that. You're going to take time. You're going to find your own place to live. You're going to find your own location. And personally, I would be coming on my own. If I was someone who's only had an online relationship, I wouldn't ask them to meet me at the airport. I would meet them at a time when you've settled into your own establishment. Personally, I wouldn't come and live at someone's place that I hadn't physically got to know over a long period of time first. That would have, to me, that's too risky, and you're not getting a good understanding and balance of what's going on around you. So it's best to, in my opinion, if you're coming by yourself, if you're a solo traveller, remain the solo traveller for as long as you can while you're here as well for a period of time. Solo travel is a some people just enjoy that form of travelling around. For me, solo travel, I relate it too much to business, because when I was travelling around the world, I was doing a lot of it solo. I wasn't going with a group. Sometimes I might be with one or two other people, but normally I was by myself. And it was very, could be lonely at times. So coming here as a retiree, where you're used to having friends and people around you, and coming here as a solo traveller, I can understand it would be probably quite easy to make decisions of forming up with a team or someone who's very friendly with you here quickly, and having that, pushing that relationship forward fast. That's the danger, because that's where things can go wrong quickly. I would try and do as much as you can on your own before you get involved with people on a more permanent basis, because just one thing leads to another, which leads to another. Before you know it, you're into committing to things you don't want to commit to, and you shouldn't be doing that. I mean, I can even say, you got to know people very well before you start challenging them and saying no. I can do it here. Of course, I know people here very well. They know me over many years, so I don't have to agree with everything anyone says to me, Richie or anybody. I can say, no, I'm not going to do that. You can do it if you like. I'm not doing it. That's family, isn't it? That's what all family are like that. But yeah, when you're in a new relationship, brand spanking new, it's easy to fall into the wrong trap, let's call it. And that's the problem. Nevertheless, I would, if I had a desire to come to a place like the Philippines, I could see the desire. I could see the cost of living being a huge benefit compared with where I'm coming from. I would do it solo. I would keep us to you as much as you can to start with. If I was doing this I didn't have Richie, I'd be doing it solo. I wouldn't be forming quick relationships with anybody. I'd be doing it solo. And over time, as I got to know the lay of land and what was good and what was not good, I would start getting more acquainted with things, the laws, the culture. I would get more and more into talking to people and gaining an understanding and a trust and building it. I wouldn't be swayed by the over-friendly individuals that come along and want to take you out to a party and things like that. No, I wouldn't do that. I would be solo. I would be solo. I think people who want to also meet you at the airport can control you from the beginning. The minute you put foot on ground here, if you're not careful, you're whisked away to a place you've never been to for the first time. You haven't seen everything you want to see, and I think that's also inappropriate. It took our Richie and I, and we know this is Richie's land, where Richie's family had, but it's her land. And our first call before we got here was not to come in here and live here, but to find another location somewhere and live. That was our first thought process, because of space and because of, But when you get here, things change, And we had also some experiences here. Nanai died after a few months of being here, which was sad. Unexpected, because we expected Tatai to go first. And then more recently, over the last 2 years, we've had Tatai die last month as well. But we've got a family here, a community, and we've got people here we care about as well. So it's something you become part of. Now, you can't be expected to become part of caring for a whole community, a whole family, when you first rock up in the Philippines. Although that's what the culture is here. People are expecting kind of, support or assistance where they can get, not from you, from each other. And if you become part of the family, they expect it like they expect it from other members of their family. So it's not individual. It's not, here's a foreigner, let's get what money we can from him. No, I don't buy it like that, really. I know there are those who do, and I know there are people who will do that. But here, actually, no one's ever asked me for any money here in the family. Never have I had someone ask me, can I have some money, Simon? I'm short. No. I have put money in people's hands for birthdays, Christmases, celebrations. I've also put money in people's hands when they're working, doing jobs that we want doing, and been happy to do it. I'd rather keep the money in the family than keep it outside the family. So wherever I can, I've put money in family to build things that are going on around us wherever I can. But to say the Philippines, everyone in the Philippines, you can't trust anybody, everyone's going to squeeze you dry of money. No, I mean, it's too simplistic attitude to have on that. It's not, that can happen anywhere, really. In any developing environment like this, that can happen. And here's no different. But you see, if you're in good connection with your family, with your wife and family, everyone's looking out for you. For me, that's what they're doing. They're looking out for me. They're looking out for my interests in this process. And that's what family does. You have their back, they have your back. And I've always said this. And I want people to understand that. Don't run away from the fact of a good family that wants to be part of your life. And if you come in here, you're coming to the Philippines for that partnership, you're going to have a partner and a family. And you're going to become part of that family as a son-in-law or a brother-in-law or whatever. And that's, you're adapting a lifestyle new into this culture, coming from a culture you come from. It's easy. It's not hard, And like I said, they have your back, you have theirs. It's as simple as that, which is what honourable family is all about. So don't worry about it or get put off. If it's not what you're looking for, then I would say the Philippines is not for you. And I wouldn't come here. If you don't want to get into the culture of the country, you only want to have a girlfriend and live here, I would say it's fraught with risk, over time. If you're not, so I wouldn't come here to this sort of place. I'll come here for a few weeks or a month or two, holiday, then go somewhere else. I wouldn't plan on making this a home base at all, But if you're thinking of retiring, slowing down, building other interests, doing other things, enjoying life, enjoying food, enjoying culture, enjoying the weather, then fantastic place to live. Fantastic place to live. And, I'm always, like I said, open to giving questions, answering questions, should I say, on this area. I think it's important to listen to lots of videos on lots of people that do live here, that give their honest opinion on how they feel. You don't necessarily have to agree with everybody, and you don't have to necessarily, that's the way they look at life here through their eyes. Doesn't mean you're going to look through it with your eyes in the same way and get the same thoughts and thinking as they will. Everyone is different. Some people come here and hate the place after a few months. They can't get out of here quickly enough. Others just go with the flow and enjoy it and embrace it and let it flow over them, if you like. And you got to, be there. No matter what you are, I wouldn't invest all your money in a house in the Philippines or anything in the Philippines, a business or anything, unless you want to lose it, because you will lose it eventually. I don't know many that make lots. There are a few, but not many. And if you're getting into that, if you're trying to get into a stress-free environment and have a stress-free life, the last thing I want to do is have a business. If Richie wants a business, she can have one. That's great. And, she's going to be around for a lot longer than I am, I hope. Being 14 years younger than me, she should, and I encourage her to do things, But I wouldn't do them. Me, personally, no, definitely not. I'm not going to get involved in them. I may give some assistance in helping Richie or one of the family members here do something if I think it's a great idea, but I'm not going to get involved in it myself, start worrying about return. So my involvement in a thing like that would be a donation to it, obviously. But I would like to see enterprising attitudes taking place here, because this is a place where these things can work really well. And if you can help family members create some income for themselves on a regular basis, why not? Yeah, I think you want sustainability here with people, all the time. So I think it's good to be that way, think that way. So if you can help people, I've come from a business background, so for me it's easy to look at something and say, well, this is good, but there's something missing with this. Let's do it with this, or do that, or try that. And things start working. What I do find here, though, is people tend to have the idea for a while and then lose interest in it. So, obviously, I don't push people if they are only half interested in doing something. That's fine. It's like Richie and her bakery. The bakery dream comes up now and again, but I haven't built the bakery yet because the enthusiasm comes and goes because she has so many other things to do. I understand. So I'm being critical of her. I'm just saying there's other things that take up her priority in doing other stuff. And she's also 56 years old. She's worked hard in her life in the UK and in her life in the Middle East. So I want her to enjoy her life here while she's now living back in her home country. So, yeah. So I'm not going to force her to have a bakery and put her under stress. And I'm certainly not going to put myself under stress. So, yeah, that's how we work it. The more we live here, the more we absorb the atmosphere and the real wonderful life of just getting up in the morning and hearing these magic sounds and enjoying it. And that's what I say to people coming here for the first time. You've got to test the water first, and don't bring your home country here. Bring yourself here with a very open mind and learn to slow down. Don't come here with a wallet full of money and think, well, I've got to invest this now and do. No, just find a place to live. Plenty of places are available. Like I said, a little house, 10,000 a month, easy, in the province. If you want to live in a city, you're going to pay more there, sure. I can't really advise people about living in cities. I know I've lived in cities a lot of my life in work, but if that's what you want, a city lifestyle, I can't give you any advice, because all I can say is a city life where I assume you then want city life because you want city nightlife as well, as conveniences around you of that nature, then you're going to pay more. It's still going to be cheaper than living in the West, sure, but it's still going to be a higher cost. And I would also say there's also more risk of being caught out in things there as well. You know, you being scammed, meaning that sort of thing. There's more exposure to criminals and risk factors in those kind of environments, I would say. Of course, that last point I might be totally wrong. I mean, I can't talk for all cities. When I'm thinking of cities, I'm obviously thinking of Manila in particular. City here, it's not really a city, it's a town, but Japan is a nice little city. We go and visit in the golf cart here often. We go to the market there sometimes as well. That's nice. Or Cabanatuan, also where we go fairly, that's just also 30 minutes away. Also nice, but I don't really regard them as cities. They're just big towns, let's call them. But they've got a lot of amenities in them. But they're not my place. They're a place to go and get a city fix for a day or two maybe. But they don't appeal. I wouldn't want to live in one all the time. I may as well live back in where I'm from as go and live in a city. This is, for me, just around me here. I'm experiencing things I can't do back home. That's why I'm here doing these things. You know, doing what we're doing now, building what we're building, living the way we're living. We can't do these things, live this well, living in the UK. No, absolutely not. Those puppies have gone quiet. Luna's not here, so she's obviously with them, settling them down. We're having a pork pie evening tonight. Richie's promised me pork pies. I don't think we're having them for lunch. I don't think she started them yet, but we'll see. Tomorrow is the start of my 3-day break. Hello guys, where's George? Oh, there you are. There you are. Yeah, the chickens, they can get over the top here easily. We feed them in here, and then some stay in here with the youngsters, and then the others jump over the top and do their scrounging and about outside. That's what tends to happen. Young male here. That's JJ talking. You can hear. Hello, mummy hen. Where's your chicks? They're inside the pens. You've got to jump back.
Where's the other one? Why there's only two?
There's one down below.
Hello. This is Puna. Okay, and this is Lunette. And this is Miggy.
And this is Simon.
And this is Simon, the daddy.